The 15-minute cities is something that the WEF has created called C40, and it's called C40 cities. Basically, you won't be able to drive a petrol or diesel car anymore. You'll have to buy electric. If you want food, you will get a calorie-controlled system sent to you by text saying, this is what you can eat today. This is what you can have today. If you violate any of these things, they'll freeze your bank account. That is the next step. These are stages in which they're going to implement this stuff. And this was signed up by the WEF, and the WEF has signed up with our mayor in London as the chair. And he has gone around the world to communicate this C40 to all of the countries in the world. And most of the countries are looking at adopting it. Now, I am going to abolish it. It is a hopeless position. We are going to be in an open prison, or shall we say a COVID, for the rest of our lives. We will not be able to work unless it's in our 15-minute city. It's diabolical.
Why you've decided to be this public about your denial, Adam?
Well, I think, people generally don't want to be considered to be Satoshi because it brings with it risks, right? But, I think there's effectively some amount of selection bias because Satoshi stopped participating in the forums in 2011.
Walk me through what you're going to say next week, and how much of an upgrade were we in for prior to hostilities?
Well, what I would say next week is that all roads go into higher inflation, slower growth. But how much that would be depends on whether the ceasefire holds and turns into a durable peace, and how much is the infrastructure damage already done. This shock, we know, is a negative supply shock. It means it pushes prices up, and whether that would go to a territory that requires central banks to intervene would really depend on how long it goes. A shorter duration, relatively mild impact, possible for central banks to look through that. A longer duration, inflation starts flashing red signs, then central banks have to step in. And of course, we know that means that growth will suffer even more. You asked me how much we were going to upgrade. Not by much. We were looking at 0.1% lift of our growth projections. And now we are going to be talking about different scenarios. We will present 3 scenarios, depending again on these factors. And I want to stress something very important. This crisis is global, but it is very asymmetric. Countries feel the heat of it differently. If you are in the zone of hostilities, that hits you the most. If you are an oil importer, far away, you can't get even the quantities you need, that hits you a lot. If you are an exporter, like the United States, you are in a much more protected position. Poor countries, all importers, are in a very tough spot. And for them, we are ready to help if it is necessary.
The new Fed chairs often get some sort of real world test. In Greenspan's case, the market crashed right after. In Bernanke's case, the global financial crisis was like right on the heels of him starting. So that doesn't mean that this is going to happen, but the test now might be the stuff that Mohammed was just talking about is a political test of the Fed itself, not necessarily of Kevin Warsh, and that should be concerning. It's definitely in terms of things that one should be cognizant of. That's certainly an issue.
And we know when the drums are beaten, there are like 10 different agendas. And one of them is to control humanity's movements. Remember, later on down the road, we're going to be moving into the metaverse where people will be traveling from their couch instead of in their cars and planes. We are seeing refineries blown up, gas lines blown up for a reason. Remember, they dangle that carrot first. If the carrot doesn't work, They bring out the sticks, and that's what they're doing. They're destroying the energy. So later on, it's so expensive, only the rich will be able to travel. Remember, guys, this is a plan that moves in phases. It's not something overnight. You gradually get there. And of course, they cause the problem, wait for the reaction, and run in with the solution. The solution they had ready 20 years ago, and of course, that's these 15-minute cities, the free money, and the metaverse. And remember, the crypto teacher told you. And who is Satoshi? We already know who Satoshi is. We know Satoshi is the alphabet boys. And remember, the crypto teacher told you. We don't have to do any research. We know the crypto teacher has already proven it. And we have the IMF downgrading the global growth. And of course, energy prices have a big effect. The only reason why inflation stayed so low is because energy prices have been low. We're not getting back down to $60 oil. It's not going to happen. And they've raised commodities extremely fast, the fastest in history. So when they do have a correction, it's the biggest correction in history, but those prices are never going back down. God's commodities are just keep moving up. They need it in order for this fourth industrial revolution to work. And that's the reason why you want to have all your commodities in physical form. And remember, the crypto teacher told you. And in history, majority of times when we get a new Fed chair, there's always a crisis. And we know it's normally time with Shemitah. And Shemitah is 2028 to 2029. And that's right around the corner. We're definitely going to go into a reset. And we had Trump with the Truth Social post saying the Great Reset. And Scott Besson said in the second quarter, we would have productivity move up. And then all of a sudden now, we get a post and news of Scott Besson and Fed Jerome Powell sending out a warning when it comes to this technology. That's not a coincidence. It's just those who remember what's going on and can put the puzzle together. But productivity is about to be stepped up, and people are about to go home. And of course, they're going to beg for that solution, that free money. But little do they know, that money is going to be programmable, the B system. And we have all the big banks, big corporations, big fund managers are investing in these data centers. And these data centers, of course, are going to be used by who? That's right, the machines. And these machines now have quantum computers where you won't be able to trust your eyes and ears. Everything that's going on right now, it is biblical. We are in a spiritual war. And what are the sheep doing? That's right, distracted on things that don't matter. And the good book tells you, my people perish from the lack of knowledge because they reject it. And we know they got all the knowledge at their fingertips, so they will not, and I mean will not have an excuse. And you know the crypto teacher gives you the truth, nothing but the truth. Yes, the truth hurts, but it sets you free. But because I'm giving you the truth, you hate me. But remember, I'm just a watchman on the wall. God, spread this channel everywhere. Like and subscribe. And remember, the crypto teacher told you. Because he knows when it comes to the NWO, it's all planned out. You have a wonderful day.
I think any sort of rate cut is really off the table, and I am beginning to think that the most likely direction on the Fed is a rate hike. Not imminently, and I think that unless something gets really bad, that Powell will pass at his last meeting, which I do think that the next meeting will be his last meeting. But I'm looking at the money supply, and I see it expanding, and I'm looking at commodity prices, and I see that expanding. Fiscal policy, defense spending. I don't see how the Fed can, in fact, ease at this point. That's going to be a challenge for bonds and the equity market.
Has learned that the Treasury Secretary Scott Bessent and Fed Chair Jerome Powell summoned Wall Street leaders to an urgent meeting on concerns that the latest AI model from Anthropic will usher in an era of greater cyber risk.
Exploiting vulnerabilities even, and this could be for every major operating system and web browser when it's directed by a user to do so. It's worth noting that Anthropic on its part has decided to limit the release to a small group of trusted partner companies, and these companies include Amazon, Apple, as well as JP Morgan. They're all part of the Project Glasswing, so they'll be able to sort of work to secure the most important systems before other similar AI models become available. And I think this speaks to how Anthropic is being prudent about it, also speaks to the concerns about these advanced cybersecurity capabilities. And I guess we are in a new era when it comes to the AI race. The past couple of years, as AI developers have raced to one-up each other with these new releases, now maybe we're entering an era, as some of our colleagues have pointed out, when AI progress is being defined in part by what is being held back. So this is a fresh development and one that we're keeping our eyes on, Lizzie.
Their digital infrastructure trust filing for an IPO. We broke the news earlier today that this is going to be something that they could raise about $2 billion working with the likes of Goldman Sachs, Citigroup, and Morgan Stanley. And Katie, the thing that's interesting is this is at least the pitching of it is a novel vehicle akin to a SPAC, but not a SPAC in terms of targeting the retail clients and trying to give them an opportunity to invest in AI data center REITs and kind of rolling that up into one.
It's interesting to see this now, a data center acquisition firm now filing for an IPO.
We're going to have tremendous workforce availability. We're also going to have robots helping us. We're going to have a lot of robots helping us because we need it. And because we're going to town, we're building a lot between the AI and the auto plants. So we're going to need robots. We're going to have robots, but that's going to help us.
Robots hold steady hands in the operating room, and drones are redefining the future of war. Innovations of first-generation humanoids, factory automation, and autonomous vehicles have surged from private sector investment. Every one of these advancements is powered by AI. The robots are here. Our future is no longer science fiction.
Maybe crypto is actually built for the machines and we didn't even know it. And AI can easily handle private keys and easily understands transaction hashes and like how all this stuff works. It is money that is built for computers, even before the computers to intelligently handle it were built. So I find that interesting. And, perhaps those of us who were involved in crypto pre-AI were kind of just like getting the ground ready for the AI systems to have a fully developed financial system handed to them, for better or worse.
This could be perhaps the greatest revolution in financial technology since the birth of the internet itself. Many Americans are unaware that behind the scenes, the technical backbone of the financial system is decades out of date, many, many years out of date. You know that. Paul and others are straightening it out, but payments and money transfers are costly and take days or even weeks to clear. Under this bill, the entire ancient system will be eligible for a 21st century upgrade using the state-of-the-art crypto technology.
And as President Trump has directed, we are going to keep the U.S. the dominant reserve currency in the world, and we will use stable coins to do that.
I think stable coins could reinforce dollar supremacy, because with stable coins could end up being one of the largest buyers of U.S. treasuries or T-bills. Mm-hmm. So all of a sudden, if you are using a stable coin in Nigeria that's backed by the U.S. dollar, you don't actually have to have dollars. It's on your phone. You can transact.
We are going big on digital assets. So Trump administration has made digital assets a priority. I've seen estimates that just over the short term, stable coins could create $2 trillion of demand for U.S. treasuries and treasury bills. To put that in context, the number is probably about $300 billion right now.
We will take a close look at regulatory impediments to blockchain,
stablecoins, and new payment systems.
Things the Department of Commerce is going to start issuing its statistics on the blockchain, because you are the crypto president, and we are going to put out GDP on the blockchain so people can use the blockchain for data distribution, and then we're going to make that available to the entire government so all of you can do it. We're just ironing out all the details so we can do it.
Together, these world-leading technology giants are announcing the formation of Stargate. So put that name down in your books, because I think you're going to reduce the cost of virtually all goods and services. It'll make the United States a manufacturing superpower and the world capital of artificial intelligence and crypto. But with today's announcement, we take a major step to bring healthcare into the digital age. Instead of filling out the same tedious paperwork at every medical appointment, patients will simply be able to grant their doctors access to their records at the push of a button. Just a button and you're all set, and all the information the doctor needs will be immediately transmitted.
Going to a different economy, and we're going to be learning more about that as we go. But clearly, we're learning that things can be done from remote locations. We're learning that technology can replace people even more than we thought.
We're not going back to the same economy. We're recovering, but to a different economy, and it'll be one that is more leveraged to technology. And I worry that that is going to make it even more difficult than it was for many workers.
In Silicon Valley, and my friends who work in technology know that what we did to the manufacturing workers, we are now going to do to the retail workers, the call center workers, the fast food workers, the truck drivers, and then even bookkeepers, accountants, insurance agents, lawyers, and on through the economy. So what happened to the manufacturing workers is a very clear sign.
And so we'll import Chinese-based CBDC technology. So it's going to be CBDC in a box provided to you by the People's Bank of China.
But every stock, every bond, every currency, every commodity, every piece of art, every private business, every piece of real estate will eventually be a token on a blockchain, an entry on a ledger, permanent and immutable. We will have truth instead of trust, and we will save over $7 trillion a year.
Like what you see in China and their social credit scoring systems, right? If we get identity wrong, it could be a tool to enslave humanity. And if we get it right, it could be a tool to liberate humanity. And as an American, I'm obviously rooting for the one that's on the side of freedom.
If we could tokenize all our ETFs, all $5.3 trillion of our ETFs, and provide that in a digital wallet, you could seamlessly, without fees, going from a digital currency or a stable coin or whatever that may be in your digital wallet and buy bond or stocks. And I believe that is going to be the future.
I believe we're going to be in the cutting edge of tokenizing bonds and stocks.
Coming.
And we have the technology now. The fact that we are now moving forward in tokenization, every bond and stock, is crazy. Yeah. We should be moving towards that frontier. Obviously, there's winners and losers and all that, but we need to be prepared for the tokenization. And it would democratize more finance if we tokenized bonds and stocks.
Cryptoteacher and the New World Order book, plus the 3 Kids books. It's time to re-educate. Also, new to cryptos, Coinbase, Bitrue, Binance. Do not forget book links and crypto links are in the description. The stock channel, guys. Don't forget to go like, subscribe, spread everywhere. You have your Kobo, your chip stocks, your banking, your gaming. While everybody's sitting at home, get home stocks, the Seaver, the biotech stocks. And while everybody's at home wishing, they were still getting that free money. What are they doing? Drinking and smoking weed. Don't forget about those stocks, and you have a wonderful day. The most powerful person in the world is the storyteller. The storyteller sets the vision, values, and agenda of an entire generation to come. Steve Jobs. And guys, I truly believe in this. When you look at the New World Order, they're the storytellers. And that's the reason why I wrote my New World Order book. But guys, now it's time to change the current generation. And I wrote 3 kids books. I love the Trinity because I understand the power that's in it. So I have 3 books. We have an opportunity to change the generation, to educate, not just me, but I want to show you that I take action on a daily basis. and I want you to take action on a daily basis. Whether it's your job, whether it's in your community, we have an opportunity right now to educate the masses. I posted this on my Twitter account. Please share, but this is a short clip of the 3 books. There's going to be a clothing line and action figures. Please get these books for your kids, nephews, cousins, friends, so therefore we can start the re-education now. Because as we see, the 4th Industrial Revolution foundation is definitely here. Robots, algorithms, drones, taking humanity out the picture. We have to re-educate. But let's get into the video.
Part 1. King Joshua and Grandma Tam save the village. Part 2. King Joshua and Grandma Tam save New York from COVID stories 3. Part 3. King Joshua and Grandma Tam goes to China.
It's mandatory to get part 1, part 2, and part 3 of this series. It's time to re-educate Generation Z.